So the Puritan engages in a sort of debate and gets the worst of it, right?
And a Puritan shows up and tries to shut down the play.
Which, of course, actually happens in real life.
It happens about 20, 30 years after this play. The Puritans shut down. And Tom Overdo is there, and he seems to have it in for poetry, doesn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't like poetry, yeah.
And art.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that, isn't it? You almost had the feeling that the playwrights of the time sensed what the Puritans were going to do. You know, it was, well, I guess they had to struggle with that for most of their careers, but the Puritans sort of won for a few years there. Another thing that's interesting about this show is that it's a conservatory show.
Yes.
Now, can you explain to us what that kind of means? Probably there are people watching who remember Young Company productions here. Is this the same kind of model as the Young Company production?
It's basically, yes, this conservatory students are students who have gone through the program that's headed up by Martha Henry. And so there's a group of them, about 12 of them in this production, but the cast is 33 people. So the intention is to give them parts in which they'll have a chance to grow.
Right.
And they're doing phenomenally well. They're really fantastic. But we also have artists who are more experienced actors alongside of them, so that they serve as, in effect, you know, companions, mentors.
Yeah.
I mean,
has this involved you much, Tom? Have you been?
I think it's not as a title or something like that. I think it's something that they can sort of observe the good and bad things that the more experienced actors do. But it's been in rehearsal. It doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like, you know, these are the experienced people, the inexperienced. It's a great group of people. And I think maybe it gives those guys who don't necessarily have the experience just the courage to be able to go and just make a fool of themselves, you know, and because they're watching somebody who maybe they've seen Lucy Peacock, and all of a sudden she's in a great big fat suit doing stuff, and they go, well, she can do that, then I can do it too.
Okay, so why is Lucy in a fat suit?
She plays Ursula the pig woman.
Okay.
And she's a character, a real character, but she's got and she wears it in rehearsal, this big fat suit.
Yeah.
She looks very good in it, actually,
but she's enormous.
Yeah.
Ursula is a kind of goddess.
Yeah. Earth Mother.
Yes, she's cantankerous, and she's infinitely practical. You know, she runs this place where they sell the pig that the Puritans go eat. But Ursula's pig tent will feed your belly with pig, will feed your lungs with tobacco, which was just out, and you know, King James hated this stuff at the time. If you need to pee, you can pee there for a charge. If you want a prostitute, they have some of those. And then if the cut purses want to divide up the money that they've stolen, they can do it there too. So she one-stop shopping.
You told me earlier that you really wanted to take advantage of the sort of youthful energy of the conservatory participants, and to give them a bit of give them their head in a way, to sort of go out and try stuff. How's that been working?
Well, I'm finding that they're at the beginning. They seem to, you know, they're a bit tentative because they're thinking, well, you know, how far can I go here? But these characters are real characters, and some of them are doing just fantastic work, going, and they each approach it in their different way. But I think it's very, you know, they're talented young people. So Tom's right, getting a chance to watch, you know, the lovely Lucy Peacock put on that huge fat suit, or getting a chance to work with Tom and look at what his work. I think it enables them to kind of, you know, take their talent and make a contribution, come up with ideas, and they're doing that. It's great.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of frenetic energy, almost crazy energy. It's like a mad world, right?
It's a fair.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's a sense of freedom.
Yeah.
You know, the first act takes place in a Puritan household.
Right.
And everything's very confined. Very, you know, tight. And then in acts 2, 3, 4, and 5. You go to the fair, and with it you get a sense of madness, liberation, sensual pleasure.
So you're gonna have
good time.
Gonna have a certain amount of interaction with the audience here.
Well,
you think?
No, I don't know. I mean, I talk to them all the time, and so let's see what happens.
Well, you get a chance to talk to Tom McCamus.
That's right. Yeah, maybe we can put him in the stocks and things like that.
You end up in the stocks.
Maybe we'll just get audience members into the stocks. But that's a good idea.
I like that.
Yeah.
I guess we get the impression that this is going to be quite funny, right?
Well, we hope.
We hope, yeah. We're laughing in rehearsals, so
yes, that's right. We're having a good time in rehearsals.
Are people? I mean, is this a humor that people are going to relate to today? I mean, I guess one question is what does a play like this, which is dealing with a kind of slice of life, you know, in the 1600s, what has it got to say to us today? Is there something? So the person out there who's saying, why should I see this play? What's our answer?
Well, I'll start and you can add to it. You know, people don't fundamentally change.
Yeah.
I mean, time goes by and the world is a different place today. We don't have the plagues quite so often they would have had at this time. You know, we're in a society where, but religious zealotry is still here.
Yeah.
A need for the fair, to be let loose, is still there.
Yeah.
People who take themselves too seriously, they're still here. So the characters, we as people have many of the same follies, and the role of classical satire, and he wrote, unlike Shakespeare, he took for his models the way that plotting comedy, you know, like Funny Thing Happened on the Form, the basis for that comedy was that satire could enable through making us laugh at people's foibles, enable people to see what might be wrong in themselves, and who knows, maybe correct it. So that these characters are, you know, they have deep, profound longings that they pursue.
Right.
And
like the craving for
pig. And it becomes deliciously funny.
Tom, anything to add to that?
No, it's perfectly. He's the director. It's perfect.
So, when does this start?
We actually begin on opening week, so we begin in the first week of June, and we go into previews the week before this. So we have about, you know, roughly 2 months from right now until we open.
Cool.
So we haven't been in the theater yet. We do that on Monday.
Wow. So it's and these guys are all ready. They know their parts.
They're ready to go.
So they're all set.
And we have an extraordinary group of people. Like in the 33 people, we have very different. Some newcomers to the festival. Cliff Saunders.
Yeah, he's doing all the puppets. He plays all the puppet parts, all the puppet voices. And I'm
so he's the puppet master.
He's the puppet master.
Right.
Lantern Leatherhead.
That's right. Yeah.
Who actually runs the puppet show.
Yeah.
And has he had to get special training for that?
He is incredibly inventive. So he's doing all of this as he goes, and he's.
Because I could barely get this one to speak while I drank a bottle of water. I mean, once you get your hand in there, it's not that easy.
We'll let you do a cameo appearance.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Yes,
okay, so next week we're back with Robert Blacker, who's our dramaturg. I will be in the chair again, because you're not here, right? You're rehearsing this play. And we'll be talking about Canadian plays, particularly the Canadian plays we're presenting this season, which include a revised version of Rice Boy, award-winning drama by Sunil Kuravila. And Sunil is going to be here with Robert Blacker, and we're going to be talking about the process of, about the importance of doing Canadian plays at the festival, and also the process of developing them further, presenting new ones, remounting classics. So please join us again next week. Make sure you've got your questions ready. And in the meantime, thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.